How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about an apparent case of voter fraud through ballot harvesting happening in Ilhan Omar's Minneapolis district. Now, I was always told by the mainstream media that voter fraud doesn't really exist. And if it does, it's not worth mentioning. There's no point in having voter ID, and there's no point in restricting universal mail-in ballots. And if I do want to do those things, then I'm a racist. I'm trying to block black and brown folks, as they say, from being able to vote. That is not what's happening in reality. Now, there's a whole lot to quote unquote unpack here, as the cool kids would say. But first, let's watch this clip from Project Veritas. I'm gonna play the entire thing. I'll play about 2 minutes of it. I'll place everything else in the box below, but you'll get the general gist of what's going on here in Minneapolis from this clip. After we get done with that, I'll talk about what was said in the clip. I'll give you some context, then I'll give you my 2 cents, my deep detailed analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
James O'Keefe here in downtown Minneapolis at the scene of the crime. The person you're about to meet, Liban Muhammad, aka King Liban 1, boasts about the hundreds of absentee ballots in his car.
Numbers don't lie. Waujeedaan gaarigaygu waa buuxaa. Waxaas waa absent ballot salka yaala. Soo ma jeedin. Fiiri, waxaasoo dhan soo ma jeedin. Waa buuxaa gaarigayga. Waa buuxa yaala. Waxaas kulli waa Jamaal Cusmaan way. Fiiri. 300 clear maanta soo dhacday oo Jamaal Cusmaan. Yeah.
There was video. You can see the video. There was a video out and about that he has the ballots in his car.
Right.
And talking about the only way you can win is with money. I was looking at them and they were not filled. They were blank.
Who is the one filling out the absentee ballots? People who work with like Ilhan Omar. Where do they pay the money? The minute we sign the thing, the election, that's what you get paid.
Money is everything. Money is the key in this world. If you ain't got money, you should not be here, period.
Marka odayaasha waa loo codsadaa. Waana laga qaadaa.
At the end of this street,
Yes.
there's 3 towers called Horn Towers.
Okay.
And it's all seniors, and they took every ballot.
Every ballot. They just take
Every
them from
single
them.
ballot. They knock on the door and say, your ballots, come give it to me, give it to me.
They don't even pay them for it. They just take it.
No. And the ones that didn't vote on ballots, the young people and the women and stuff, they were paying cash. They were getting bags of money the last 1 week here to drive people. So there's a vested interest, but we are victims of the system. They don't give a shit about any Somali.
2 in the morning, still hustling.
Who is the one filling out the absentee ballots? People who work with like Ilhan Omar and other candidates who work for them. They came to us to our apartments. They tell us that this year you're going to vote for Ilhan. You don't go nowhere, you stay home, we will tell you fill up so your absentee ballot. When it comes, we'll come and get it. You just don't go nowhere, you stay here. They fill it for us.
All right, you heard that, you saw that. Now, a quick elephant in the room. Some may want to attack Project Veritas rather than the content of the video itself. They're going to say, oh, James O'Keefe, he's a crook. Project Veritas has unscrupulous methods, and that's fine. If you believe that, that's fine. Give me some evidence on my email, put it in the comments, but I've not seen any evidence of that. What I do see evidence for is what was in the video. Okay, you have actual people in the video that are in government in Minneapolis. Those that are kind of around government. You got watchdog people that are in the video. You have real information in that video about what's happening in Minneapolis. Now, the biggest thing in that video was Liban Muhammad with about 300 ballots in his car for Jamal Osman. And by the way, Jamal Osman did win his election back in August, like late August. He won his election. So he was successful. Was it because of ballot harvesting? Probably so. You could not have 300 ballots in your car for one person. That's not legal. You can do ballot harvesting and what they call ballot collection legally, but it's restricted. If you are a particular group's agent, you can have up to 3 ballots that you collect and submit, but the ballots must already be filled out. You can't take their ballots and fill it out or pay them any kind of money for it. You can't. That's called ballot harvesting. That's illegal. You can't do that. You can go to jail for that. All right. The guy Liban Muhammad, said in the video that he was doing an illegal thing. And he showed it. And the thing about it is that the ballots were not filled out from what I've been able to hear from in the video. And that's not legal. You can't do that. They have a whole scheme going on. I'll explain that scheme for you right quick. First of all, you're dealing with mostly Somalis. A lot of first generation, they don't understand the way elections work. So they're kind of being scammed and fooled by these people that are out there working with Ilhan Omar and Jamal Osman. They're being scammed by these people, right? With money and or without money. Now, if you're a younger person, you might have been here for a while or second generation or whatever, they may offer you money for your ballot right when it comes in. And they got that whole thing mapped out. They know they can track your ballot on when it's on its way. They got your social security number. They got your driver's license. They got your address. They got all that stuff. So all they need from you is your ballot when it arrives. And when the ballot comes, they swoop in and take your ballot. They may do a door knock. Hey, where's your ballot? Can we get the ballot? I'll give you some money. And they're giving out cash money for the ballot. It's not filled out, not even opened. So they pay money, they get the ballot, they fill it out for you, and they're going to vote for Jamal Osman. And he wins. That's kind of how the whole system goes. And if you're an elderly Somali person, you probably came from Somalia kind of recently. You don't know what's going on, what your rights are. You have no idea. So when they come to your house and demand your ballot, you give it up. You don't even get money for it. It's not open. It's not filled out or anything. They know where you're going to get it. They got all your information. They got social security number, your driver's license if you have one, if you're elderly. They got your address. They got all that stuff. So they come and take your ballot and fill it out for whoever they want. All right. That same thing could be going on with Ilhan Omar, with Jamal Osman, with others that are in government in Minneapolis, in a Somali area. All right. And they've also said in the Project Veritas video that it's a clan thing, not the KKK, but as far as a Somali clan, you know, Ilhan Omar, Jamal Osman, a lot of them are related. They know each other. It's like, you know, a good old boys network, but more of a tribal type thing from Somalia over here in the U.S. They keep themselves in power by doing the ballot harvesting illegally. Now, the guy that got caught in this car with all them ballots, not the first person that did anything like that. This has been going on for a very long time in Minneapolis and other parts of the country as well, where they will take your ballot, fill it out, and then vote for whoever they want to vote for. That's going to be heightened with universal mail-in ballots. Why wouldn't it? We've already seen what Antifa and BLM do based upon somebody getting shot by the cops that may or may not have been in the wrong to be shot. What are they going to do when it comes time for the election and they fear losing? They fear 4 more years of Orange Man bad. They may just come invade your home for your ballot, or at least your mailbox. They may burn the post office down to the ground because they don't want your ballots to go out there. We've already seen a bunch of ballots get thrown away from the military that were all cast for Donald Trump. How did that happen? You can see on the back of your mail-in ballot if you have a Republican or Democrat ballot, depending upon where you are. So a mail carrier might kind of get upset at that and just throw your ballots away before they even get to you, or send them somewhere else. If you have ballots that just get mailed out without them being requested, they may go anywhere. An old address of yours you don't live at anymore, so now you're disenfranchised. That's how that happens. That's why we want to have voter ID and in-person voting as much as possible, because we don't want to have people get disenfranchised. We want to have you have your vote count. If your vote is being stolen from you or it's being bought illegally, now you're in a whole different realm. You're in straight voter fraud. And I always kind of question how the media can say it's not really a thing, voter fraud. Oh, it's not really here. It's not common at all. How do you know that? Because the whole point is to go undetected. It's just like illegal immigration. The whole purpose is to not get caught by the federales, right? So you may say, oh, 11 million people here illegally. How can it only be 11 million? How do you know that? Why not 20 or 30 million? Why not? What is the actual number, and how do we know that if they've not been caught? Now, if they have been caught and they're just here illegally, then what are we waiting on? Let's go get them up and get them out of here. We cannot know the extent of election fraud, but it does happen. It's a real thing. And even if it wasn't that widespread, we should still want to protect it. Just like murder is not necessarily widespread, but you still want to protect yourself from murder. Home invasions are not necessarily widespread, but you want to have a guard against being home invaded. It's very simple. Insurance, same thing. You might not ever really use it, but you still need it. It's the same thing going on with protections against voter fraud and election interference. It's weird, as I close, the Democrats spent millions of dollars and years on the whole Russia kerfuffle because of election interference, right? They did that. But then when I say, or when we say, let's have in-person voting to prevent voter fraud, and let's have voter ID to prevent voter fraud, they want to screech and scream. Is it because they think it's not really a real issue that black folks can't get IDs, or is it because they want to cheat like the guy Ilhan Muhammad did for Jamal Osman, and possibly Ilhan Omar herself, because guys that were doing that whole ballot harvesting thing are in her district, number one, and number two, people that were doing it with the money are linked straight to Ilhan Omar. We have to be real about what's going on here rather than trying to act like it's not really happening. We can't put our head in the sand and ignore the reality of the situation. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that there's some voter fraud happening in Minneapolis and all over the country? Because ballot harvesting is not just a thing that happens there. It didn't just start. The guy Muhammad wasn't the first guy to think of that idea. It's been going on for a very long time. Is it widespread? And that's your viewpoint. Let me know why in the comments below. Or is it an isolated incident, not really widespread? It was just him by itself. Nobody else does this. It's not even a thing that happens. It's just, just one random case. And that's your viewpoint. Let me know why in the comments below. You guys know where I stand. This is not one random case. It's been going on for a long time there and other parts of the country as well. Okay. Not just ballot harvesting, but also throwing away ballots coming up, quote unquote, missing, ballots not being counted. If there's an issue with Russia, which wound up being nothing, let's change focus from that on things that are really going on, actual election fraud and interference. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.